Okay, just a little opening to this one. I forgot it was on my schedule. It happens. I tried out to, but apparently it got left for 2 cycles now, and it's ready to be cut. It's mostly clover. Up here there's some fescue, and it's a mix of weeds. So that won't be too bad. I mean, luckily we're early enough in the season that you can make a dumb mistake, and it's gonna be all right. And luckily enough, they're a cool enough client that they weren't like, "Hey, why aren't you here?" Which makes sense. When I picked it up, it was like knee high. Back here, it's really not too bad. Back here, height-wise, there's some weeds over there that are tall, and then this stuff's tall. But I'm gonna tell you, the Ferris handles this stuff like a champ. So, I'm not worried about it at all. Now the 36 handled it, but it'd still take a long time, and you gotta double cut, and I might have to double cut this, I don't know. But if I do, at least I got a 61 instead of a 36. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started. It's a wonderful time not to pick up tissue paper, because tissue is used for 2 things. James, you know what those 2 things are? Blowing your nose and wiping your butt. Blowing your nose and wiping your ass.
What's up, everybody? My name is Kevin. This is the Lawn Care Juggernaut. In today's video, we are going to be going over the first cut of the season on one of my lawns, and as you can see, it's a little bit overgrown. But hey, before we get into this, I wanted to let you know that I do a lot of these videos and I drop a lot of good tips. So make sure that you hit the subscribe button if you like these type of videos, and go ahead and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out when I post new content. If you guys do like the lawn care videos, hit the thumbs up button as well. It really helps me out and I truly appreciate it. Alright, let's go ahead and dive into this job. So it was kind of odd how I got this job. It wasn't a typical referral. It was actually from another lawn care business, kind of going out of business, retiring. To the best of my knowledge, I never met this person other than like a one-time interaction at a gas station, and apparently I made my mark and I was just so cool with him that, you know, he kept my card and he ended up passing them to me about a year later. So, you know, he said, "Yeah, I met you at this gas station," and, you know, we talked for a minute, and, you know, he ended up passing quite a few lawns to me. So that was pretty cool, and that's the second time that's actually happened with me. So, you know, if you are cool with people, it does pay off. It pays off to be a good person. And, you know, sometimes it feels like things aren't going your way. That's okay. It pays off to just do the right thing and be cool with people. And, you know, when it all comes down to it, man, you never know who's going to go out of business the next year. You don't know who's going to be passing you work. You don't know who knows who. And the best thing to do is just build relationships, be really cool with everybody. And then, you know, I genuinely like meeting other lawn care guys. So that worked out pretty cool for me because it paid off and I got some more lawns. And when I did pick this up, I needed the work. So as far as when I actually looked at this, it was kind of like 3 or 4 weeks into the season. You know, I'd already done quite a few cuts. So when I started this lawn, it was probably, I don't want to say knee high the whole way, but it was probably like mid shin to knee high. And this tree that my mower's by right now, there were a ton. James hit the camera. He's going to pick it back up in a second. But anyways, that tree back there, there's the power lines to the house are actually growing through that tree. And so there were a bunch of limbs there from when it was like hacked back. And I mean, you can look at it now. It still looks brutal. It looks like that tree out of the Harry Potter movies. But yeah, and then this also had a ton of just privet bushes and shrubs and just nonsense growing around the fence. I didn't cut that stuff out. The homeowner actually cut that out, and at one point in time it was like all over the lawn and I had to mow around it, and it was like that for like 3 weeks, and when they finally moved it, it was like knee high in those areas. But you know, that's kind of one of those odd things. It was one of those things I was willing to just be cool with it and mow around it. Still, I charged them the full price, even though, like, hey, I'm not mowing the section where that's at, but yeah, I had to mow around it, and that's a pain. And that's just kind of how, check that out. Landed that baseball in that bucket. I want to act like I was trying, but in all honesty, I don't have aim, man. So it's pure accident. But this is a pretty decent sized lawn. It's 15,000 square feet. So for me, that's a decent sized lawn, right? That's the type of lawn that I service. Between 8,000 square feet to about 20,000 is my biggest lawn. But now that I have this 61-inch mower, man, the lawns are just going faster. It seems like it's something I wouldn't mind picking up some of these bigger lawns. Because like on the small lawns, I can't really get the 61 up to full speed. At least I can't right now because everything's wet. You can kind of see I came in here and you can see the brown marks from my tires. I had to be careful. This back corner by where the camera's at off to the right side is actually just standing water when I shot this video. So, you know, it's one of those things that if I have the perfect scenario, I can get this mower wide open and I can make some good money with it. Even though, like on a property like this, it's still making me really good money. I'm obviously knocking this lawn out a lot faster than I would with my 36-inch. The other thing is the 36-inch just didn't throw the grass as far. I mean, it throws it a decent distance, but not like the 61. So that Ferris really eats through the taller, thicker, nasty stuff pretty well. James is kind of catching on with weed eating. You can see him over here. He didn't have to go back to the truck to get weed eater string. That's something that I've been kind of hounding him on, is that when you run out of weed eater string, make sure you have some in your back pocket, because you always run out in the back corner of the property, or that's how it seems like to me. He's weeding around this little rock bed back here. It's kind of an odd thing. I don't know, maybe there was an actual flower bed there at one point in time with bushes, but I don't see any stumps or anything in it. It's just a rock ring, and I have to weed eat that down, and it bevels up too, so I'm not going to take the rocks out. That is what it is. It's pretty easy to weed eat it down. I'm going to show James doing that here in a minute. So he was just asking me on whether or not he's going to hit that, and the reason being is that every property is a little bit different, and so there's properties we don't touch the flower beds. And unless we're getting paid, we don't touch them. In this case, it's pretty much grass. I consider that turf. It's kind of a pain, but that is a section of turf. Now, one of the tips I give James right after he does this is that he's going backwards, and if he would have went forward, it kind of discharges the grass a little better. And the other thing is, like, if you look at how it's discharging, it's spinning it all at his legs. So looks like he just stepped in a hole. But yeah, I mean, you're gonna get coated with stuff. So if you're the type of person like me that likes to weed eat in shorts, that's kind of a no-go scenario. You don't want to weed eat backwards like that unless you have to. So it's really important to remember, even though it takes longer, make whoever you're training go back and get it done until it's done right. Hey, if you made it this far, let's go ahead and have the phrase of the day as you missed a spot. And yeah, put that down there, and I'll give your comment a like, and give it a heart as well. You didn't think I was going to miss that spot, did you?
Alright, so that was, I want to say one pass. I kind of went over it twice in some areas on the front, but in the back was all one pass. And it looks pretty sharp. There's a few spots where, you know, the clover could look better, and it would look better if it was a little shorter. I'm going to keep it at this height through the growing period though, so I think we're all right. Maybe I'll drop it down 1/4 inch, but I think it looks pretty sharp. Not too bad for missing it on my route. How did this happen? Well, let me get back to the truck where the wind's not an issue. Okay, so if you've watched my videos in the past, you see that you'll see that I actually print my schedule off, and I'm not going to show you the schedule, but it is there. And I print the schedule off, that way I can see what I'm doing throughout the day, and then I mark it, and I actually hand that in to my wife when we're done. And then I also put a copy in through text message. So you can actually use the app. I'm not a big fan of the app. but you can mark them completed on the app. That may be something that we do in the future, because I know you can time them as well, and I'd like to time all the lawns. But how do we miss it? It's real damn simple. This one is in a neighborhood of its own. It's the next neighborhood over from where I service, but in its own neighborhood. It's the only one I have over here, and it's easy to miss. It's that simple. It's that simple. Group all your lawns together, you won't have that kind of issue. And the other thing is, you go, oh, I want to drive over there to get that one. You know, that kind of stuff happens. So I don't want to sound lazy, but obviously I need to put some attention onto my schedule because it was missed. I don't know. All in all, it's not that bad. So from here on, it'll be weekly throughout the year. And we're back to it on to the next one. James, tell me about your experience on this lawn.
I just wiped a nickel-sized piece of dog on my forehead.
Let's say it without the cussing. Dog doo-doo.
I just wiped a piece of nickel-sized dog doo off my forehead. I'm going to go home and throw up later today. I'm not even sure it was dog doo.
Have you guys ever heard of night soil?
Yep.
You ever heard of night soil? Night soil is human waste that's used as manure. And normally it goes through treatment to become night soil. But I actually had a client that used to put human waste inside their flower bed. And the reason I found out was because I was doing a leaf cleanup. I don't have them as a client anymore. It's pretty disgusting. I also don't do, just to clarify this, there's a whole coronavirus and this and that. It's a wonderful time not to pick up tissue paper because tissue is used for two things. James, you know what those two things are?
Blowing your nose and wiping your butt.
Blowing your nose and wiping your ass. Only two things that tissue's used for. I don't pick it up. I will shred it on the lawn. And it's not to be like, oh, well, you can put on some gloves and this and that. You know, it's not to be lazy. One, I'm not the trash guy. If you know you got tissue in your yard, pick it up. Two, it's thin enough it shreds up real well. Three, I ain't doing it. I'll pick up other trash, water bottles, this and that. I'm not picking up biohazard. Needles, no go. I will call that client up and say, hey, you got a needle in your yard. And you pick that up. Okay? I don't do biohazard nothing. My mother-in-law, she makes jokes with me about being a germaphobe. She knows I'm not, but she'll make jokes with me about being a germaphobe because I don't like to drink after people. And the reason why is I don't do STD nothing. And so I heard when I was younger that you can catch STDs from drinking after people. I don't know. I don't even need to know if it's completely true or not true. I don't drink after anybody. I don't swap spit with anybody. It's disgusting, but I will drink after my daughter, which is disgusting. Kids are gross, but you know, I'll let her drink my drink, and then I'll go back to drinking my drink. She's pretty good about not backwashing. She's at the age where it's getting to be okay, but there for a while when they're real young, it's disgusting. I wouldn't do it. And then I will drink after my wife, because, you know, we do the business. I'm not worried about catching nothing, because I know I already got it. Although I will say that can come back on you. Once upon a time, I was with this girl. I had to take a big old fat red pill, and I thought she was the only one, but no. Here it comes, come back on me.